Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lizard Brains podcast. I'm your host, DJ Allison Drini. I'm joined by my co-host, Tom O'Gorman. Tom, how's it going? Another week, another podcast.
Another week, another podcast. I'm feeling goofy today. I don't know why.
Yeah, you've been on something the last couple days. I don't know. You've been a little... Yeah, Tom's been a little terrorist in all the group chats I've been in. Tom's been a little terrorist. He's just been trolling everyone.
I'm having a good time. Have I been a problem?
Taylor says, I got called a nerd and now I'm here.
Yeah. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. It was like a light motorsports weekend for me. I went autocrossing on Saturday. And then Sunday I did a whole lot of nothing, unless you count iRacing. Then I did a whole lot of iRacing.
Where'd you go on Saturday?
Steel Cities at Pittrace. It's the second to last event ever there. So we got a conversation about Pittrace, Tom. So
man, RIP.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's completely dead yet. It looks like there's I think it's like, all right, hold on. We got to catch everyone up who's like living under a rock or listens to this podcast and doesn't do motorsport stuff. So a racetrack that's near me and near Tom, I'm there basically every other weekend. It is like one of the nicest tracks in the country, like the upkeep, the facilities, the surface, everything. It's like a pristine racetrack. You can tell money went into it, and it's always busy. There's always something happening there. It's closing. So
out of the blue, dude, they were booking 2027 and they're all of a sudden just closing. It's crazy to me that this is happening. It's so sad to me. It's hard to say because I understand like the business aspects of it. I understand the like capitalism. I understand the desire for money or whatever. But at the same time, there's something sacred about the place that we get to play.
Yeah.
To me, that if you're investing in that, you're responsible for it in a way.
Yeah. Kind of.
I don't know. Like this is so on my high horse and whatever. But
yeah, so I'm not sure if the Stouts, who were the owners of the racetrack, I don't know if that's what they signed up for. Maybe they realized that they signed up for that and then they wanted out or whatever. But like this was a passion project for them for what, like 15 years? Because Pittrace used to be called Beeve Run or something along those lines. And it was just it was just the North track. It was just like a little over a mile track. And then they just dumped tens of millions of dollars into this place. Like it must be an absorbent amount of money. Dumped
tons.
Into the cart track, the VDA area. So like everything's paved. They have multiple garages with like showers and like air conditioning and two different timing towers and a pro shop. And like, it's just like, it's one of the nicest facilities in the country, like by a large margin. And it didn't seem like it was going to go away anytime soon. Like a lot of the times the writing is on the wall when a racetrack's going to disappear and you're just like, well, we'll enjoy it while we can. Yeah. And Sean pointed out in the chat, new stuff went up just this year. So they were still spending money on it just this year. So I don't know the details on why it's being sold. It's rumored that like some AI data center or whatever is going to go up, but I don't know. I haven't seen any like information to confirm that. The only people who really know what's going on is whoever apparently bought it and the Stouts. That's really the only people who knows what's going on. Now I do know that there's like people aren't ready to say goodbye to the place, so they're working with like local government, and people are calling like the governor of Pennsylvania, and they're like trying to figure out if there's a way to like protect this, as you said, like a sanctuary of our passion, which is what like every racetrack is in the country. And I don't know what the amount of the check that was written to the Stouts was, and if it's just an absurd amount of money, then like I don't know if I can particularly be mad at them. I think I'd be more mad at the mechanisms that make it where that makes sense at all. Like just build on like empty land. Cause like to me, like the mechanisms at play where like this is the ideal site for whatever, like for some reason a racetrack is the ideal site for whatever it was purchased for, means that something's broken. and like because they could just buy empty land or like farmland or something or just build it somewhere else, right? Like to me, the mechanisms of like zoning are broken if for some reason buying a perfectly functional racetrack is the most ideal thing for some data center to come in and just like basically, I don't know how many unique visitors pit race had every year, but it it was a like it was just a place for us to explore this passion of driving and motorsports for like this whole like greater area. And without it, it will be missed. There's really nothing uh, close to pit race that is arguably anything like pit race. It's going to be a huge blow to the entire Pittsburgh and Cleveland area.
Yeah, I mean, I think of it a little more harshly. I think you're being a little generous because I just don't understand. If you own that track, to me, the travesty, is that the right word? Tragedy, yeah, that's the right word.
Okay.
Is there was no effort to keep it as what it is. If these people wanted to sell out of it, Jim and Kathy Stout, if they wanted to sell out of it and cash out, sell it to someone who's going to maintain that hub that it was for tens of thousands of people. There's like when I zoom out just a little bit, and I'm going to sound like a little bit of a hippie or something here, but that when you talk about like third spaces and you talk about community and you talk about the real ways that we interact with each other in person,
Yeah.
the fact that it's just something disposable to them in the way that it seems to be. I really don't care if it was $2 million or $200 million. I can't imagine wanting more money in a way that I would feel okay giving that up for the tens of thousands of people that it was that for.
Yeah. No, I
So
totally I totally see
I
that
just
point
think
of
like
view.
maybe I know I'm being harsh. I know it's intense, but at the same time, just like shame on them. I think it's so depressing and sad. And I don't feel I heard stories of them, crying and having all this like this heartburn about it and whatever. And I just don't have any sympathy for that. But the bigger picture is like I don't understand where it came from because like
Yeah.
they stood in front of us at TT Nationals. Literally, the VP of the track stood in front of us on Saturday and Sunday saying like, "We'll see you here in 2026.
Yeah.
It's going to be the SCCA, excuse me, the SCCA Time Attack National Championship." And then like a week later, it was just the track's closing.
Yeah.
Like what? Like what?
I went on a spending spree in the pro shop because everything was 35% off. I got some really nice sunglasses. I haven't bought nice sunglasses in a while, but I got some nice ones. And
Yeah.
because everything was 35% off, and on $160 sunglasses, that's like 70 some dollars off. So you get it for like $100. And I haven't had nice sunglasses since Ito Waxman sat on mine like, I don't know, 8 years ago. So
Oh no.
I've had $20 sunglasses the whole time. Um, so I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm ready for nice sunglasses again. So I got some in. I bought a bunch of like pit race shirts and there's even a seat. There's a really nice seat that's there. And I tell you what, if that seat's there, when I go there again this weekend, I might buy that seat if it's 35% off. I don't know because it's a nice seat. It's a really nice
Maybe yeah.
seat. I don't know when I'm gonna
I
put it
had an
in, but
idea. I had an idea for merch, for like Lizard Brains merch that was either like RIP and like the track map of it was the R or something, or like Pittsburgh rest in peace or something like that.
yeah,
And we were joking at the runoffs all weekend, like we should call the last track night there like the Track Night National Championships, like something to like make it fun, because ultimately it feels like such a loss.
yeah.
It's like
It's the feeling is very and I'm sure a lot of people felt this. It felt like somebody died, and like you're like still like mourning it, or like they were like diagnosed with like something terminal. So like every time you go there, you're like oh, it's so nice to see you again, but like I know this is one of the last few times I'll see you. You know what I mean? It has that feeling to it, and it like feels. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, Tom.
it
It's
is. If you want to come drive it, let me put my little capitalist hat on. The ASM test day is October 13th. Nope,
speaking
October 16th.
speaking
Excuse
of
me.
money.
Yeah. October 16th is the ASM test day. It's for advanced drivers and up, for licensed and advanced HPDE drivers. And we have the skid pad rented all day. So if you want to come autocross, Last year we ran it from noon to 8, and people were done running by like 6:30 p.m. because they
Ran out of tire.
got way too many runs. Yep. So uh, I think there's going to be a backloading of events at the end of this year, of course.
Yep. Yeah.
I know Track Night added a whole second day or a whole second event to their day.
The autocross event this Saturday, they're starting early to like let more people in, and the plan is
Dude,
literally to run until like we get kicked out is basically the plan. So like
yeah,
the
I
sun will be
posted that
going
on the
down.
post. Like you literally like if you stop running before the security comes over and tells you to stop running, like you failed.
Yeah,
You need to run
exactly.
all day. And
All
every
day.
event, I'm saying this for all the events that are there until the end, like run all the way until the end and then push it by 5 more minutes.
Yeah. Well, I do feel a little bit bad for like the course workers and stuff. So, anyways, oh, the reason I brought up the pro shop thing is I was talking to the people that work there, and all of them were blindsided. They all, because they always ran out of merch in like March and stuff, because people would be coming to the track after winter and they didn't have inventory up or whatever. So they were like preemptively buying inventory of everything like now, like literally like a week or two before the announcement. So like everyone was blindsided. There was literally no like heads up from anybody that worked there. This was like kept really close to the chest from the stouts. It seems like literally nobody knew about it, and the track was gearing up. Like you said, 2027. They were booking out stuff for 2027. Like they were getting ready to to exist for decades to come. So yeah, super weird. There is a little bit of, I think it's a long shot, but I applaud the efforts to at least try to make it where the zoning laws make it where like a data center or whatever can't go up where pit race is, or something where like the sale of this land, maybe the sale's already final, but the new owners like can't do what they want, and then they have to sell it off to somebody else, and then like maybe it won't be a racetrack next year, because I'm sure that will move at a glacial pace, and it will be like going in the courts and out of the courts and whatever. But there is some hope that pit race will stay a racetrack. I don't think you should get I don't think you should get your hopes up or anything, but there's a long shot where just do some weird legalese and like political backing, like local political backing, because like the racetrack's good for the whole area, like all the restaurants and hotels, and like the city of Elwood that's like right next to it. Like it needs something. Like that's, you know what I mean?
What if Al's Corner goes out of business? Oh no.
Dude, it will. There's literally nothing
Yeah,
else around.
maybe. Uh, on a positive note, what's your favorite pit race memory? You think of one? Think of some?
Um,
You want me to start
yeah.
while you do
Well, I mean,
your
the most prominent is like that was my first time ever on a racetrack was pit race, and then that followed shortly by me crashing my car there. But like, I literally drove home with my headlights like crooked and like shooting into the sky, thinking like that was the best thing ever. I can't wait to do this again. But first, I have to fix my car. Like, like
Yeah.
that's how I left that place. It was like like doing those laps, and they were very poor laps, and obviously I was doing a poor job because I went and crashed. Uh, like I knew I was like this is my forever thing. Like I never had that feeling than I did, and I experienced that at pit race. I think I would have experienced that at any racetrack, but I experienced that at pit race, and it was like one of the hooks, like right into the cheek. That was like kind of tugging me along for this motorsports journey I've been on. Oh,
I'm so sorry that I
you
shared the
found
crash. I had to share it.
it. Oh, that's funny.
For those of you who are not in the Discord or don't listen live, I just shared the video of DJ crashing, which thought to someone thought to be filming that at the moment. It's got 3,500 views.
Yeah, and then
My
you'll
one of
see.
my favorite memories was going to be
I have to
that's where I
defend
met you.
myself. I have to defend myself. Is I didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
how any of this worked, and I ran into the wall, and then immediately jumped out of my car to look at the damage, which apparently you're not supposed to do. But I was brand new, and I obviously daydreamed during that part of the drivers' meeting, and yeah. So if you watch the video, you'll see me get out of my car and be in agony because it was my perfect S2000 that I ran into a wall.
It's such a bummer. That was my first. I did my first ever wheel to wheel SCCA club race at Pittrace,
For real.
and yeah, I bought my my Civic. It was an ITC car, and over the off season, I found out there's like a group of like 12 to 15 ITC people who always race together, and they sent me the schedule they're going to run, and we either all go or none of us go. And Pit Race was the first one. I want to say it was March or maybe early April,
So it's
and
raining.
I show up. It was snowing on the first day when we have to go through tech and stuff. So I'm like navigating for the first time my club racing, like I have to find tech and check in and whatever else.
Yeah.
But I had a 1990 or 91 Civic, and everybody else was in like an 80s carbureted car. So I show up with my little open trailer and I just like turn the key and it goes around and it starts right up. And everybody else in the class
They're like
who's struggling to
they're
like
like
get their car to
rejetting
start, it won't
carbs
start
and
in the
yeah.
snow. Yeah. They're all like, we already hate this kid. And then we proceeded to have like an awesome race weekend where I finished door handle to door handle with a Renault Encore side by side, both races,
Yeah.
had a blast. Um, yeah, that was like my first. It was before the South Course existed, so it
Yeah.
was just like the turn one was like a soft left into a soft right, and then
Yep.
it just like shot across that little gap. Um, I mean, other than that, it was always like the hub of track night to me. When I worked track night, it was
Yeah.
always like the second Tuesday of the month is when track night at Pit Race was, and I would fly into Pittsburgh. I'd pick up a rental car, and then at the end, I would drive over to New Jersey, and it was always like 100 to 110 people there, and it was chill, but also like so productive. And obviously, you went there for track night, but
Mhm.
also just like I met so many people at that track because that was the easiest track to get to with the most accessibility.
Yeah.
And yeah, they started building more buildings and more track. Dude, they literally they paved the whole South Course, and then they realized it was either low quality or it was weird that it was two different qualities.
Yeah.
So they just repaved the whole thing again.
Yeah.
So
Like
within
the
2
North
years or
Course.
1 year,
Yeah.
they repaved everything twice, basically, or 1.5 times.
Yep.
Um, yeah, man, it's fun to reminisce, but also it's sad.
So when I first started doing the motorsport stuff is also when I first met Christine. So like she's been along the, like the whole journey. And when I got back after crashing my car, and she was upset that I was going because I traveled a lot for work. And I like just got home from work and then ran out to the garage, jumped in the car, and then drove away. So like Christine's been like, "Oh, you're finally home. We get to hang out." And I'm like, I'm going to a racetrack." And I like drove away, and like so she was mad at me. And
Yep.
I remember when I got home and she was there and she's like, "Okay, so like, are you done with that?" And I'm like, "No, I can't wait to go again." And she thought I was freaking crazy. Like I just crashed. Like, and I'm like talking about I can't wait to go again. I'm already looking up like headlights and like what I'm gonna have to do to put the car back together. And like, yeah. So, yep. That's that and probably one lap. Cause that was like I liked the way I competed when I was there both times, whether it was in the Cayman GT4 or the Supra. So yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Hey, send us your favorite pit race stories. If it actually does close like we think it's going to, whatever, that'll be fun.
I think it's for sure going to close. Will it stay closed forever? Is I think the question. I don't think there's a 2026 there next year, especially if the ownership has already transferred hands.
Yeah.
And the runway is so short. Like I think like the last day of November is like when they like literally lock the gates.
They have a runway at pit race?
I mean, it might become a runway. I don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen to that place. It's like a data center with like a cart track next to it. I don't know. So, I'm bummed
I
about
think
the
honestly,
carts.
like a decent compromise would be leaving the cart track and the skid pad with like whatever else they want to put there. If they took the track away and they left the other two things, I think that's a reasonable compromise.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would work. Dude, I'm so glad I didn't buy a cart. Remember I was talking about on the podcast,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, good point. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's like another cart track that's like an hour like southeast of me. So like I could have went there, but like I saw that cart track and then the pit race cart track and then Michiana and then There's another one like Southern Ohio, and I'm looking at all these like different kart tracks. And I'm like, oh man, I can go to all these places with my kart tracks. Now that Pit Race, which is probably one of the better kart tracks in the area, closed, it's like, oh, that's kind of skewing toward not having a go kart. So I'm glad I did not get a go kart. Dodged the bullet, Tom.
Got
Almost,
to Miata instead.
yeah. I got to that. I literally haven't. I still need to figure out what's going on with the check in. I haven't looked at it at all. It's just been sitting in my garage. I don't know. Derek, do you want a Miata back? I don't know what I'm doing with that car.
Did you get to drive Peter's new car for the first time?
Yes, it's actually great. It's so good. Peter is like super psyched about it. You know when Peter's excited about a car, when he's like literally throwing the keys at everyone, because we did a ton of fun runs after the event on Saturday. Like we did fun runs for probably like 2 hours at least. And
Awesome.
I think my data was running in the glove box and I never turned it off. And it was just alternating between me and Peter. And I pulled the data out at the end and it said Peter did 18 runs. So that means it was 18 runs each of us. So the car did 36 runs that day. So like it got fun run like over and over and over and over and over again. And everyone that got out of the car was just beaming. They were just loving it. So I Peter's a little he's a little pill pusher because he's like pushing this like awesome car and a bunch of other people. Yeah. He's you know what? All the Peters are the same because Peter Lear is exactly the same way. Like he's just like everyone in Peter Lear's like friend group now owns a Porsche. Like cuz
True.
yeah.
Yeah, except you.
Yeah, except me. But if I could, I would. Trust me. So yeah, it's like I think this area is gonna have like a strong CST contingent because everyone got a taste. It doesn't have a diff, but I'm after driving it, I'm not sure if it needs one, and I was convinced going in that it was going to need one after driving D Street because the diff was so sensitive on that car, but something with the suspension and how it is and whatever, it did perfectly fine. I don't feel yeah, so Lugard says, yeah, it's fine until you go to Lincoln. So my caveat was gonna be
He's
uh
just trying to make a sale.
well, I think
Go
we're
ahead,
gonna go with
sorry.
an ATS carbon anyways. So but I've heard if you're on a grippier surface, then it starts to manifest itself a little bit more. So we got to get the car to Toledo and then see. But as it sits right now, with the diff that's in it and the spring rates that are on it, the only thing I would change is the rear bar, and that's it. Like the rest of the car is like perfectly fine. I think if the car drove like it did at Nationals or at Steel Cities, I think it could go win Nationals. It was perfectly fine.
Cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine. So mine is a technically a CST car, so the same class that yours is prepared for, but mine's just on lowering springs with the camber plates and stuff to get like proper camber out of it.
Yeah.
And other than it's on the rear bump stops like all the time because the rear spring rates are way too low and the ride height is so much lower. Other than that, it's like it's always so much faster than it should be at autocrosses. Like I was faster than some of the like autocross cars up in Wisconsin. I have like my car's been amazing, so I can only imagine.
And
I really do think like
the
there's something
tune,
about like a street prepared, meaning the street class prepared BRZ FRS when they don't have camber but they have grip that makes them like really really not nice to drive. I really don't like those cars in that prep first or second gen. But when you add the camber to it, and I don't know if the lowering has something to do with it too, like they become so nice.
yeah, the tune, and because I was driving a stock GR86 like this whole year, the tune with the header and it just like I don't know how much more power it is, but it just revs so like more free. It's just like I don't know. It was an absolute joy to drive. When I jumped into other people's, sorry, other people who are listening, but when I jumped in other people's cars to do fun runs in, I was thinking, I kind of just want to keep driving Peter's car. Like I was driving a bunch of different
Yeah.
cars, and I was like, man, I just want to drive that blue GR86 some more. Like it was just that good. So I'm driving it again this Saturday, and I don't, that might be the last event of the year for it. I don't know what else. Peter has planned. But yeah, it's just, yep, it was everything I was hoping it was going to be. Um, but like I liked it so much that now I'm back to myself wanting one of my own, even though I don't know what I would actually do with my own car. I have my own Miata and it's just sitting in a garage. So
Yeah. Hey, good problem to have.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I was at runoffs all weekend at Road America,
Woo woo.
which was not it wasn't all weekend. In a way that like in the past 7 years, this was my 8th year doing it. We were there like Monday through Sunday, and this time we were only there Thursday through Sunday because they shortened up the number of race days and qualifying days, and they didn't have us commentate qualifying. So it went so much faster, but it was honestly like maybe my favorite runoffs yet, other than maybe the first year at Indy,
What made
which
it
was
your
so
favorite?
cool. It, the the races were the best, I think.
Okay.
That was the main thing. So if you're again under a rock, I was doing commentary, so all the races were streamed. There were nine races per day, so 18 races, and I think there were 23 classes total. So for the first time ever, they combined a couple classes together to race together.
Like the
Which
lower population, like formula classes and stuff, right?
and some of the touring classes and stuff. So I don't know where to start. Okay, so Thursday I got there. I tried to make a really concerted like a big concerted effort to watch qualifying because the main thing that I'm not like the best at just like walking up to people and asking them questions and walking around paddock and like doing research. So when I'm commentating, I don't really do that as much. I let the organic conversations that I pick up on or I see in group chats or I see on like forums or online, I kind of let that speak for itself. And then whoever I come across and whatever they tell me, I pick up on that. But also I really want to watch qualifying. I really want to watch like what is the storyline of this event
Yeah.
for the class, because like you can do all this research till you're blue in the face and then like the green flag flies and then you just black out and it's 40 minutes later and the race is over.
Yeah.
So like the most important thing to me is the race. Like that's the story that we're telling.
So
So I really tried to watch qualifying a lot. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm gonna say, I want you to keep going with this, but I haven't watched any runoff races yet. Uh, at the end of this, I want you to tell us which races we should watch.
Deal. Yep.
Okay.
So I watched qualifying both days. I tried to like pay attention because like some of the hardest parts, this is like inside baseball in my own brain for commentating, but it's knowing like whose cars look like what. It's like associating the names on muscle memory with the cars,
Yeah.
specifically for stuff like I had Spec Miata, which is obviously like they all look the same except for the colors, and then you have to like match the names to the colors. So stuff like that. And then understanding like the little picture that gets like drawn throughout the weekend, like what person missed day one of qualifying and they only got one chance to like put in a lap in qualifying two, and then like that's their time. Or like what session had oil dry down, or what session had weird weather conditions, or all this different stuff, right? Like I want to be super plugged into that so I can tell the story of the weekend. So we kick things off race day, Saturday, Sunday. I was like super, super happy with commentating. It was very fun. I wish I could honestly figure out how to do more commentating on purpose. I really don't know how to do that other than to like manifest it. I'm having so much fun doing commentary.
Yeah.
I'm really bummed that Grid Life didn't keep hiring me for whatever reason, but like it's just I love talking about my favorite thing. I think if I did it more, I think I'd get even better at it. Even the one of the lead guys, John, at the end of the weekend, he's like, you know what? If they don't get someone to do this next year, and he points to like the seat he's sitting in, which means like the lead commentator, like you should put your name in for this. And I was like, I'd never even thought of that. Damn, like maybe I could do this like lead the lead play by play role.
Yeah.
But all that to say, like I just like have a blast. I want to make it like I want to make it as cool as I would want it to be for myself to watch, for everyone else to watch, and try to relate it to kind of like what we do with this podcast. Like try to relate it to the person who's watching at home or sitting at home and they either want to do it or they don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Like put them in the car for a second and
Mhm.
just like
I think you do a great
I've
job of
I've
that.
thanks. I try.
Yeah. No, I think sometimes commentary gets lost in just like the I wish like even like the Formula One commentary, I wish they would and like I understand mostly what the drivers are going through and stuff like that, but like I just think it would be a cooler spectator experience if they like spent more time trying to make the viewer understand what's happening in that car at like any given moment and like what's happening with the driver and what calculations they're making on the fly and stuff like that. And I think because you're a driver, you understand literally just from the body language of the car what is happening. But then I think you also do a good job of understanding what the normal person isn't going to know. And I think that's what a lot of people so like understanding the nuances that's happening in the car, but then also being able to keep perspective of what somebody who hasn't lived through that, what they're not going to understand, but then also what they would find interesting. I think that's a difficult balance to play. And I do think you do that particularly well. So I was saying, or I was thinking, uh, the easiest way to get practice on this is to do sim race commentary, like literally like Kyle Heyer style. Like that's how Kyle got so good at it is he just got like the repetition.
Yeah, I also practice by watching like whatever race I'm watching. I just turn the commentary down and I just talk for like what would I be saying in this moment, and then I sort of try to listen to the commentators who are actually talking
Mhm.
and see if I'm like kind of on message a little
Yeah.
bit. Like if that's what they're talking about and that's what I honed in on too, like that's kind of cool. um so yeah, that was fun. I do also think there's still something special about like a one and done like winner take all championship,
Yeah.
which is pretty uncommon these days other than like at SCCA events, and I guess NASA is the other one. But the fact that it's like a 13 lap race for all the classes, there were so many classes where it would be like either two cars took each other out of third and second and third, or there would be like a last minute restart and all of a sudden the person who was in fourth is like passing for the lead. That you're just like anything can happen.
Yeah.
It's like kind of wild, you know? This person who was like 3 seconds off pace in qualifying, they're like in the conversation for a podium now. And that makes it super fun, I think. I also uh so they combined some classes. I'm going to start with a goofy thing, but the class that did not combine very well was Formula Atlantic and prototypes.
Yeah, I can
So
imagine
it's like
that.
the two fastest classes with like the people who are probably I'm gonna like go out on a limb here, but they're probably the most likely to be over their bandwidth because the cars are so fast.
But
And they
also like they're probably not getting that much wheel to wheel experience on their given club and regional like events and
exactly.
yeah.
And there's not usually a lot of reason to watch your mirrors because there's like you're doing your own race. They so what happened was they go whoever was on the overall fastest pole would be the first wave. So the fastest Formula Atlantic was the fastest car of the group, and then the next four cars that were the next four fastest were all prototypes. So they split the classes. Formula Atlantic started first because the fastest car was
Uh-oh.
a Formula
I
Atlantic.
already know how this is going to work out.
Yeah, and then basically the majority of prototypes were faster than the majority of Formula
Yep,
Atlantic,
yep.
except the pole sitters, right? So they start, and then they like so the prototypes are starting to race through the Formula Atlantics and vice versa, and it's starting to get a little chaotic. And something happens, and a full course yellow comes out, and they're completely intermixed. And
Mhm.
there's like no pass around rule. There's no like organization or
Yep,
whatever. A
yep.
couple people tried to, and then like they throw the green flag again.
And it's chaos.
Chaos, absolute chaos. But it was like it's kind of almost amusing.
Yeah.
It was very
Could
iRacing.
I was gonna say, so like, this happens in iRacing because the production car challenge, which is like a series in iRacing, used to be gridded by lap time in quali. So like if you were in a Miata and you did a faster lap than all the GR86s, which should be faster, but a lot of times aren't, you would start behind or you would start in front. That's how it used to be. But now it's like grid by class. So even though the Miata set a faster time than all the GR86s, you're now starting behind all those cars and you have to pass like 15 GR86s that you're definitely faster than. And all the Miatas
Yep.
behind you are definitely faster than. And it's absolute pandemonium. And then you got like the one or two Renault Clios for some reason. They joined by themselves, and they're
Yeah.
like a rocket ship in a straight line. And they started in front of you, but they're seconds off pace. But you can't pass them because they're a rocket ship, and it just causes absolute absolute chaos in iRacing. And I think that's what you go into Production Car Challenge for, is for the chaos. Before it would, like, you could have some like good racing breakout, but now it's just pandemonium, which is fun in its own way. That sounds like Tom O'Gorman fun, not necessarily DJ fun.
I mean, if it wasn't in the sim, it does sound fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So that one was the only one that didn't work. The rest of them, like, honestly, all the kind of mediocre classes in the sense of entertainment value, just entertainment value, got combined in a race with another one. So there was like multiple storylines to bounce back and forth and back and forth. The classes that are like really strong from an entertainment value perspective were on their own. That was great. Okay, so B Spec was the first race, and it was so good. There was like a 4 to 7 car battle, ebbing and flowing for the lead the whole time. The guy that ended up winning, he like predicted perfectly how the momentum would carry out, and like some people would draft past him and then they'd like miss the braking zone by a little bit and start to run a little bit wide, and he would just like knife back up into the front. He did so good. So B Spec was really good. I mean, obviously the heavy hitters are like Spec Miata, SMX, Spec Racer Ford, Formula V. I would
Yeah.
say Spec Miata was really fun. SMX was really fun. Formula V and SRF, Spec Racer
about
Ford, were kind of like predictably fun.
okay? What about T4? Because that's normally kind of interesting.
T4 had a weird thing happen
Okay.
where, if you guys don't know how SCCA club racing works for the most part, if you have a V6 Mustang and you want to race T4, you have an RX-8, you want to race T4, it's not like a here's what you can do to the car and it's all the same no matter what car you have, like most classes.
Yeah.
It's here's the exact wheel size you can run, here's the exact tire size you can run, here's the exact spring package you can run, here's the exact, like, it's literally a parts list depending on the car. And they do that to try to control like the balance, but it usually means that they're like never quite right. So these two people, they looked at the results from last year, which was all RX-8s, and they were like, wait, the V6 Mustang is like, it just got a differential allowance to get shorter gearing or taller gearing, I forget.
Okay.
And it just got like a little bit lower weight. And okay, let's build these cars. So they built 2 Mustang V6s, and otherwise it's FRSs, NCMX5s, and RX-8s. And they kept them a secret all year. And then they show up to the runoffs having qualified with their old cars.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're like 2 seconds a lap faster than everybody else.
Oh man, that's the most SCCA thing I've ever heard.
Yes, right. So they obviously, like, they run off. It's the teammates, and they were battling against each other. But it made the rest of the race like kind of boring for everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
And in general, there was only like 10 cars. T3 was pretty good.
That goes back to
but
our
a little bit
conversation.
boring.
That goes back to our conversation of like winning on track or winning off track. And to them, the like the keeping it a
Yeah.
secret, and then the like the unveiling, the pulling like the cloak off this like car that they built, and then they went out and just like kind of curb stomped everyone. I bet they were having the most amount of fun ever with that, because I think there's like a part of us, a part of all of us, that would be like, that would be kind of fun because like
The troll part. Yeah.
yeah, you're just like, and I win, and there's nothing you can do about it. That would get boring very quickly, though. Like, if that's all you ever did, I think like a once in a while of just like a haha, like, I think that could be fun. But I would argue, would they have had more fun if they were racing with like everyone else? Like, it's better because they had 2 of them, so they could at least race each other. But if he was just by himself driving, would that even be fun? You know what I mean? So that goes back to
Yeah.
that winning on track and off track conversation that we had.
Totally agree. Yeah, great point. Okay, so STU, actually Kelsey just mentioned in the live chat. STU is similar. The class is Super Touring Under.
Unlimited? Okay.
I'll try to make this make sense. They had STO, STU, and STL, which were Super Touring Over, Under, and Light.
Okay.
And then they got rid of Over, so now
Mhm.
there's just Under and Light.
Okay.
Okay. They added TCR cars to that,
I could tell. I could
halfway
just
through
tell.
this year.
I could tell you're just annoyed. Wait, there's TCR cars in STU now?
Yeah, so they just added TCR cars to it, which are like basically the same speed as if you were to like go balls to the wall on an STU car, but you just buy it and then it's like that's how fast it can go. So it was the cool part was there were two of them. Well, there were actually four, but there were two of them at the front. It was Chip Herr versus Peter Cunningham, which I know means nothing to you, but give me a second here. So when I was watching racing as a kid, there was like Speed World Challenge was like in my mind one of the pinnacles of like motorsports entertainment. It was so good. And there was real time racing, and there was some Mazda teams, and then there was like the Stasis Audi teams. And Chip Herr raced for Audi, and Peter Cunningham owned and ran the Honda team. And over the last 20 years, like it was always duking it out, whatever.
Yeah.
Audi A4 versus Civic Type R, or sorry, Integra Type R. Anyway, so they both came back to the same class this year. Both came back to be in the same class this year. And Herr had a Audi TCR, and Peter Cunningham had a Honda TCR.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're like duking it out.
Did they do that on
again, and
purpose?
no, it was just like a coincidence,
that's
but
so
it
cool.
was the circumstance that were created there, right?
Yeah.
So, and they had a really, really good battle. It did happen to be 30 seconds ahead of everybody else because they were TCR cars instead of like home built cars. But the battle between them was like really good. The Civic was definitely faster, you could tell. So Peter was a little more chill with how he approached the race, and Chip was like lobbing grenades in every once in a while just to try to like keep it tight. But it was still cool for me to like an old fan, kind of like these two names. Like I think
that's super
Peter
cool.
was probably in his late 30s when I was a fan of this, and Chip was probably like 22. And now they're both, 20 years on, and they're still doing the same thing. It's a little bit of like a man, I hope I'm still doing this that way.
How much does a TCR car cost nowadays? Like what was Rockwell selling theirs for? Wasn't it like 60 or
Like
50?
70, 75.
75? Okay.
Which I'm pretty sure Chip Herb. I think he bought one of Rockwell's old cars. I'm not sure, but the Civics are a little bit more expensive
Because they're just
in
still,
general. They're basically like, do you have a ton of money to upload on the to spend on the upfront, or do you build your car over time?
yeah. I think like the top running STU cars are probably in the same like dollar point, just because like the engines, like just the way as I remember when I first got the free race car, I was looking at between SCCA and Grid Life, and in order to like have a pointy end STL Civic, I had to do a bunch of stuff to the car so it could be slower, and it was going to cost a lot of money to be at the pointy end, and the car was going to be slower. And I was just like, well, that decision was made. But for the people that live in that that space, then that like makes sense. Just like us with like autocross, it's like the car for the class and all the modifications to it, like that math doesn't even need to be math, because like you're going to be there like racing the thing, right? But when you're on the outside looking in, it was kind of like, well, I'm not going to spend money to make my car slower. That doesn't make any sense. So
Right.
yeah. So in order to have like an STU engine that's like within spec and like is maximum output, I bet those are like, I don't know, $20,000 engines.
That actually brings up an interest. I was talking to Andy Smedegard this weekend. He came down because someone he uses for building shocks was crewing for a team that was running some cars this weekend. So he came down and he was hanging out with that person for the like afternoon, I guess. So we met up and had dinner afterwards, and he had never seen an SCCA club race really, and he had definitely never seen the runoffs. So he was like, kind of taking it all in for the first time, and like, what is this event, and like, why does it matter? Like the conversation of all those things was coming up. And I mentioned like the runoffs and probably NASA, but I still think it's basically only SCCA. Building the engine matters so much because they're the only one that aren't doing power to weight and dynoing, and like it's literally like you can maximize the engine from the spec from the factory, like what do you call it, boring out or something? I don't
Yeah,
know.
and then like the milling of the heads and a bunch of car guy stuff that I'm sure Carlton would know.
Exactly. And it makes it so like we never talk about building engines really, except for like kind of time attack and then like SCCA club racing.
Yeah.
Kind of odd. Okay, so I forgot where I was going with that, but the F production race was crazy. It wasn't necessarily a good race, but it was like a great entertainment package.
Yeah, okay.
H production was a great race, which production, by the way, is like such a weird little niche within SCCA club racing because it's like it has to be the production chassis and the production motor, but you can build the motor to within an inch of its life. You can do box flares, you can cut the car up, you can chop the windshield off, you can like run full on race slicks, but the car still has to be like what the car was. And they're mostly from like the 90s or older. So it's very interesting. The H production race was a Mazda 2, a 1986 Jetta,
Okay.
and like a 1960 Austin Healey Sprite
Yeah,
battling each other.
the obvious race car package.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what are any of these cars doing, let alone battling each other?
Why did
Now,
I'm wondering why somebody took a Mazda 2 and was like, yeah. all
race motor.
all
Yeah.
all the things I could dump money into, it's gonna be this Mazda 2. I freaking love this thing. It drove my daughter to school for all of college.
Right. Okay, those two were good. Formula Ford or Formula F was really good. Also crazy. Those people were trying to kill each other.
Okay. In good ways or bad ways?
Both.
Okay. Both.
Those are the ones that come to mind.
Okay.
So yeah, they're all on YouTube. They're going to be reposted as individual races later, but you can go back and watch like the full live stream of them now. And I had a blast. It was fun. It was very fun.
I'll have to check out some of the races. Anytime I think I'm gonna check out a race, then I get sidetracked by something else, and then I just don't watch it. But I keep meaning to watch the Spec Miata race. I don't even know who won, so don't spoil it. Spec MX5 and
Verstappen.
of course, yeah. It was George Russell actually this weekend, Tom, out of nowhere. So Verstappen got second though. And he was unhappy on the radio.
I can only imagine, yeah.
So well, runoff sounded like it was fun. Good track hangs as well.
Yes, I would say that's probably the part that like suffered the most. Because so I started going to the runoffs as like a in crowd person in 2016, but I was a fan like since 1993, 1996. That's when it started going to Mid Ohio.
Okay.
It was at Mid Ohio for like a decade, and that was like my favorite race weekend ever, even though I didn't know what it was. And anyway, so like when I started going as an in crowd person, it was like there was the prod paddock party this night and like the B-Spec party this night and like the worker of the year party this night. Yeah, like Solar Nationals, because they compressed it down to 4 days instead of 7. That suffered a little bit. There like wasn't enough time, but it was still nice. Honestly, my favorite other part was I flew in to Chicago with Hayward Wagner from SCCA, and I just got to hang out with him a bunch all weekend, which was really fun. It's like one of those, we were friends and then we became coworkers / I worked for him, and I haven't gotten to hang out with him that much.
Yeah.
In not that capacity in a very long time. We got to just be friends. I got to take him to Siebkens for the first time. He'd never been.
Nice. I saw that you put a lizard brain sticker up there somewhere, so nicely done.
Dude, 2 of them.
2.
There's one in the bathroom and one in the bar. We went to the tiki bar.
Where did you
we
put it
went
in the
to
bathroom?
Brown
Is
Bear,
somebody gonna be peeing and looking at one of our stickers?
No, they have to be sitting.
They have to be sitting.
If you're sitting doing your thing, it's like right in front of you.
Good,
it's
good.
Perfect.
Plenty of time for them to be like, you know what? I will look that up on my phone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it says for a good time, tune into, and then there's an arrow.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
It should have.
That's not true.
It should have. Dang. We need to.
So we're forever immortalized in the Siebkens bar.
You know, I've seen I'm forgetting the name of the podcast. You were on it once. Something with an apex. Uh, the guy that does it mostly does NASA races.
Oh,
Blind Apex,
Blind Apex.
the Blind
Yes.
Apex podcast. Yeah, I see his stickers all over VIR. Like every bathroom in that place has his stickers with like a little QR code on it. I feel like we should have some like QR code sticker.
Oh, QR code is genius.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Next
because
batch.
then they don't even have to like search it or anything. They just like shine their camera at it and bloop, and then it's like on Spotify or whatever.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised. Sorry to make it about us or whatever, but like even at the runoffs, people are like, "I love the podcast," or like, "I love," or they just mentioned something we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe you're listening. The people who listen to this
Who
every
are
week or whatever,
you?
I'm like, damn, that's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So it's cool.
I, uh, just because we're already talking about it, should the QR code bring them to the podcast or should it bring them to the Discord? And then from the Discord, they can find the podcast. I feel like it should bring them to the Discord because then they get a chance to get wrapped into the community of lizards, and then it goes into podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Boom.
Discord.
Yep, Discord. They're gonna scan it and they're gonna end up in a Discord and be like, "What even is this?"
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else from runoffs that was fun. I will think of something as soon as we're ended, but that was pretty much it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I want to do more commentary. I'm going to manifest that. I
We're,
really,
I
really,
mean, we're
really enjoy it.
we're doing some on this Sunday.
We are.
Yeah.
If you missed it, we're announcing for the Liberty Bell League, which is a all women's iRacing league organized by Amy House-Seal, and it'll be streamed. I forget the production company. I'm going to pull it up real quick.
Oh, I can see their
But
emblem, but I forget what they're called.
slow motion broadcasting with commentary by us.
The Lizard Brains. It'll be fun.
I'm super excited.
I still got to figure out exactly how I'm going to do this because the rig behind me is going to be. I can't do commentary, and Christine's like right here.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I think I'm gonna have to do some experimenting. I think because I have that other podcast machine, I think I'm gonna just like set up a thing upstairs and then do like a sound check and make sure it's not too echoey or anything like that, and then just commentate from like up there, and hopefully it doesn't distract Christine. I've gotten her on the sim rig twice, and I don't know what other laptops people are doing, but Christine got to on like default weather conditions, so it's like boiling hot, a minute 5, and so like a minute 0.5, and I think that's probably like I don't know, like 2-3 seconds off of what the pace would be like if I jumped in, which I think is pretty good. I really haven't given her any feedback at all, just because she's still just circulating, like just trying to build bandwidth. And if I like start throwing stuff at her, it's gonna like completely mess her up. And everyone who has put in, because I talked the last time I talked about this, I was asking like, why is it that couples seem to like they can't help each other get better at the thing? And somebody, oh man, where was that? Was that in No Mic, like in our questions chat? Oh, I
Not sure, but I know what you're talking about.
somebody had a really 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 great reply. I don't remember if they sent it to me. I'm gonna know the gist of it, and you tell me if you saw it. And if you didn't see it, then I know it was like a private message to me. But they were saying like normally in a relationship, like when you're both considered equals, and then one person's like an authority on something, it's like a weird dynamic that doesn't necessarily like function as intended as like the coach and the student dynamic, because your entire relationship is this like partners in crime dynamic, not like a master and a student kind of thing going on. So that creates a situation where like it's hard to give and implement feedback. And so I really haven't given Christine any feedback yet. Maybe just like little tips and tricks there, but like nothing like I would if I was coaching her. Because I don't want to alienate her from the thing. And also I think she's doing a really really good job. She's still just like building up like muscle memory and bandwidth of just operating the sim rig. Um, but also I want to tread lightly because I've seen everyone else who's like a couple doing this thing together, and they can't coexist in the thing and be coaching each other. I haven't seen that ever, and I bet there's a reason for it. So I'm like trying to feel out what that is.
Yeah. Even I mean, in a way, we're kind of a couple. And when you tell me, sorry, that sounds weird, but in a way, when you tell me to do something in iRacing, I immediately don't want to do it, or I immediately want to do the opposite. So
Well,
like I
and
feel that
I'll
when it
fight
comes to being
I'll
a life
fight
companion,
yeah,
let
yeah,
alone
yeah.
just friends.
I'll fight you on something, but then later I'll think about it and be like, you know what? Tom was probably right. But in the moment, I'm fucking fighting your ass.
Yeah. You're like, why don't you look at the setup for a second? Like drop the rear rake. Try. I'm
And
like, no,
you're
I
like,
don't want to do
no,
it.
no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. You're a nerd.
Yeah, this would be better if it was just fixed setup, and
Yeah,
also
yeah.
if we were doing something else.
And then Tom quietly on his own, he's like, maybe I will drop the rear ride height. Oh yeah, it does
Yeah.
drive better.
Yeah,
uh,
I don't know. That is an interesting. Uh, there are times when I struggle with the idea of being a coach because there is a little bit of it like a I think self guided exploration, let's say, or like playing in the sandbox. I think that's kind of the best way to learn, only because that's how I learned. So I can't really relate to any learning process that's not that. And I really don't do well with like forced learning or guided learning. Like school was always a problem for me. Uh, Getting help on something on my not on my own time is always a problem for me. So anyway, like I have this opinion of the way that I view learning, and I have a hard time relating to something other than that sometimes. So if there's something going against that, like I can't break through with somebody. I can't, have that like that conversation where I can tell that they're understanding what I'm saying. I struggle with that. And that leads me to a little bit of like, well, why can't you just like guide yourself on this? Why can't you um
I
for lack of a better term, like figure it out on your own?
Yeah, I will say the times where like I've been friends with somebody, like good friends with somebody, and then I go to try to coach them, it doesn't seem to have the same impact for whether it's like their dynamic with the relationship on their end with me or on my end. There's something about like if there's like a precedent of a relationship and an interaction going into like a coach and a student model, it's like it doesn't impact the same like when you're like just really good buddies and that's like your normal interaction with them and then you go into like a formal coaching like format. I haven't been able
Sure.
to figure out like exactly what that is. Like I can like point them in the right direction, but it's never like I don't know, it just doesn't seem to have the same impact. Like I think like the only way it works is like just through literally like osmosis. Like we've talked about having just like surround yourself with people with the same passion and have conversations about the thing all the time and like challenge each
Yeah.
other. But like that's not a formal like coaching like dynamic. That's just like friends like challenging each other and shooting the shit and like to me like that's probably just as effective, if not more effective than uh, having a coach point out the low hanging fruit for you.
That's where I was going is like the place I've settled on is when I stopped looking at myself as an authority and I started looking at myself as a resource. That's a very small difference, but it manifests itself kind of like going back to the Ross Bentley episode when he was talking about like just asking a lot of
Hmm.
questions, trying to be a little bit of a sounding board and maybe a devil's advocate sometimes, maybe a little bit of a therapist sometimes,
Yep.
maybe a little bit of a cheerleader sometimes, like whatever that has to be, which I think is what friends do organically.
Yeah.
So like maybe that's like a tip for somebody who's struggling to like either whether it's spouse or people you're working with, whatever. Um, that's the only thing that I've found to be successful. Otherwise, there are times, especially when somebody who's like maybe a friend of mine, they're like, "Hey, watch my video," and they you can kind of tell they think they're either going to get like a definitive answer or they just want to watch their video.
Yeah.
you know and
Yeah.
like I can be a little bit of a sounding board, but they always have an excuse or like an answer
Yeah,
to what I
yep,
say.
yep, yep.
It's
But
like,
that's that
okay,
that's that
this isn't going to
initial
be super
defense.
productive.
We do that to each other. We have that initial defense, but then you like
Yeah,
reflect
yeah.
on it later. And my goal as like a human being would be to erase that initial defense out of my reactions to criticism. I like my ideal
Yeah.
reaction to that would be to just sit there and like shake my head yes and go, okay, cool. And then ask questions about whatever the criticism is, but don't have an immediate answer or anything or an excuse or anything because all that's doing is just trying to make myself feel better. And I don't need to feel better in that moment. I need to get better. I don't need to feel better. I need to get better. Right. So,
Good line.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, and if my need to feel better is getting in the way of getting better, then I'm being counter to what my goals are. Right. That's part of the reason why I like say like don't make excuses because an excuse is like if you're like, oh, I would have done well at Nats, but I like coned, or oh, I was doing well, but I couldn't put together a good run on the first day or whatever, but I would have been in the noise or whatever. These are just things that make you feel better in the moment. But like that hurt, that feeling like you're not good enough for now or like in this moment, like those are the things that drive you to
Yet.
actually do. Yeah, you're not as good as you want to be yet. Uh those are the things that drive you to do that critical self-reflection and to not worry about feeling better but getting better. It's important.
Preach
I'm preaching. I got my soapbox out.
and let the choir say amen.
We're not turning this into a religious thing. What
That's my
did Tom just turn
my
this into a
choir. I don't
Baptist
know.
church?
Yeah. And I speak in tongues. I don't know how to say it.
Oh god, jeez.
I don't know if that was offensive. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it
We
was.
should move on.
Yep, we're moving on. Sorry, all Baptist churches. All the ones that are listening to our podcast.
Right. Also, speaking of iRacing leagues, keep an eye out for the Lizard Brains League coming to you soon.
Yes, we're planning on starting in November. We'll have
November.
We're planning.
Because there's been a gap in like Track Midwest and then Grid Life iRacers, which is all the same thing. And man, that was such a big deal during COVID. We're gonna like re-fire that, whatever.
Yeah, kind of like we did last year with our special events. We'll still be having our special events. This is kind of what our like rough plan is. We're gonna have our special
Yeah.
events, big broadcasts. Like we'll try to secure prizes, whatever that is. It's gonna be a little harder since I don't work at Hawk, but we're gonna do our bet. Also, I don't know anybody that works at Hawk anymore. Everyone left. So
They're gonna be even better prizes.
yeah,
Everyone gets HVAC systems.
But also like because I left Hawk, I didn't even get the last people's prizes like to them before it was too late. So apologies for that.
Oh.
So but anyways, we're gonna have like events where they're broadcasted. But then we're also thinking of doing like weekly races, either on like Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. And we won't have a broadcast for those, but me and Tom will load up the replay. We'll talk about like things that we're seeing, highlights, like maybe some teaching moments, some fun things, and we'll just kind of like go through like the race. And we'll upload it. It will be a video. It will be like in the Discord. It will be on our YouTube channel, and that will be like part of the coverage of that league because having an actual broadcasted thing is really expensive. So we'd rather save that for our special events.
It's honestly, it is expensive, but it's honestly like it's only worth doing if it's really good.
Right.
And in my opinion, the only one who does it really, really, really good is
Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to do weekly broadcasts. So
But
sorry,
also-
Kyle. We're gonna beg you to do like 3 or 4 special events.
Yeah.
But then
He agreed like 3 months ago, so he's definitely in.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, should we do a question? Do you have anything else from this week?
Yeah, let's do a question. David Best in the chat right now. He says, "Can we get some weekend races?" The special events will most likely be on the weekend, though. I
Yeah.
say that, but my weekends are getting kind of stacked up for the effort to not have an off season again. So we'll do our best, David. So okay, questions. Here we go. Do you have one queued up? Should I hit the button already?
Sure.
Okay. Emails.
Ooh, I love this one. Okay, this is from our friend Devin. Bit of an inside baseball question, but one that is relevant to me anyway. How do y'all decide what events to attend? As someone who sets pricing and hosts events, I'm interested in how the financials of a decision to go or not go to insert thing here are applied to the community at large. I heard today your event is X dollars per minute, whereas this other event is Y dollars per minute. You are cheap slash expensive, as an example. Do folks look at HPDEs in that way? If so, are there modifiers for bucket list tracks or something? It feels like a dollar per minute uh, is missing some dimension, like track length or number of corners or something. Dollar per minute per corner or dollar per minute per mile? Question mark.
I think we're going to be a little bit
Very interesting
outliers.
question.
Yeah, I think me and you are going to be outliers in this thing. So like I would love for the chat to sound off and like like what do you guys look at for an HPDE? For
Yeah.
me, I'm looking at like cars per mile essentially like in my run group cuz I want the best chance at a clean lap. I don't need to spend 20, 30 minutes out there. I just want to get like I just want like the act of putting a lap together is my entertainment, not just driving the car.
I see that. Mine's a little more abstract, I think. I look at both the quality of the seat time I presume that I'm gonna get, which is a little definitely abstract, but then also the people I know that are gonna be there and
Yeah.
whether I'm gonna enjoy the event. So I think there's a lot that an organizer can do to make their event feel more fun without really doing that much. For example, uh, the way that Grid Life built its whole clout basically is how fun they made it look via social media. And when you actually go to a Grid Life event, it's not that different from any other event, but there are differences, and that like awesomeness that they capture on camera makes it look like a big deal. So that's why you want to go. On a similar note, when you go to the SCCA time trials or SCCA solo nationals, there are parties built in. You know, like I don't even have to leave the site. I'm going to go to this that night. I'm going to go to this that night. I'm going to see my friends there. They're going to feed me. There's going to be free drinks, like whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those types of things to make the event more fun, I think are honestly higher than people even realize for themselves. Uh, then superior to that is the quality of seat time or the quality of event that I'm going to get from the time that I get there to the time that I leave. Like I always loved auto interest events because I knew that they held people to a standard where like by the second session the point buys were going to be like on freaking point. Uh, Stuff like that with the operations, that like I said, it's kind of tough to quantify, but I think that that's super, super, super important to the way people. But honestly, just like establishing a pattern of habit to get people to come to your events is like the most important thing to me. Because when we look at our event calendar for the year, like there are certain things that are just like non-negotiables. Like Solo Nationals is going to be on there.
Yep.
At this point, both of us like hope one lap's going to be on there.
Yep.
We hope that like maybe a Grid Life or two, maybe a Champ Car Race or two, maybe like those types of things are going to draw us. So doing something to establish your event as something that draws people to it for that reason, while still being like an excellent event, um, like on track seat time wise, that's kind of my answer.
Yeah, it's like kind of like if you've went to the event and it was well ran and the track time was quality and there weren't like things that like detracted from your experience. Uh then when you're filling out your calendar, those events are like more likely to end up in spots in the future, right? Especially
Say
if
that again.
so like when you're filling out your calendar, like let's say you're like, oh, I wanna get to mid Ohio before this race I'm gonna do. So like you start looking for like HPDE organizations, at least like that's how we would be looking at them. Um and you're like, "Oh, I know so and so runs there and they run good events." So like you would check their schedule. "Oh, cool. That when they're going to be there works out for me. I'm going to
Yeah.
sign up."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and then now that's on my calendar as like that's what I'm doing that weekend. Right? Like when you're filling out your calendar for the year or months that like are in front of you. Um to me that's how I find events is cuz I'm trying to fill up empty spots on my calendar and I'll like have an idea of where I go. There's also this really cool website that David Marcus showed me. Crap, what was it called? Hold on. It was really cool, but now Google just remembers what it
Motorsports
is.
Reg.
No, it's a it's trackdays.fyi. And you go to this website and you have a map and you say like what weekends you're looking for something to do and the radius that you're willing to travel and it's like here's all the track days that are in that radius and here's all the organizations that like are like running at whatever weekend that you want.
Interesting.
So like cool little sites like that. Here, I'll post a screenshot in the Discord here. Uh, like something like getting on one of those is good. So like when I went to oh, what was the one track day that I went to that I probably won't visit that org again? Whatever. You guys can go back. I went to an NCM track day and I probably won't revisit that org just because the point buys were bad and the organization seemed like a little bit chaotic and it was kind of and there
Yeah.
was like way too many cars on track and it was like I could go somewhere else, right? So like
Exactly.
I probably won't be going to that event again unless I absolutely need to. It's like I really need to get time on that racetrack and it needs to be on this weekend and they're the only ones like that are doing it, right? But like like something like auto interests or even Devin, I went to one of Devin's events. It seemed very well ran. The run groups weren't too big. Like it worked. He has the I don't know what it's hooked on driving. I don't know what like Mid Atlantic or something along those lines. But uh, if I was like, oh, I have some empty weekends, let's see if any of their event calendar like fills it. Like I might make a special trip just to their organization to like find that if I had a good experience to the point where I was like, cool, that was like super high quality track time for me. But the difference is like the tricky part is that super high quality track time for me isn't necessarily the same thing to everyone else. Like I just want small run groups. That's what I want. But I realize that that's probably more expensive because they like small run groups means less people can sign up, right?
True. Yep. Yeah, but in general, I still think putting on a good event is basically free in the sense of what makes it good. The good is like high accountability with high expectations for the behavior on track.
Yep.
It's really all it is. And then like if you're not holding people to a high standard, the standard of your event is as low as the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, basically.
So like I actually talked a lot about this weekend with different people because I learned all of my what I know about a racetrack from the indoor track that I worked at and dealing with people who don't know anything about motorsports and having to be the like entry point for them to like function at a racetrack. That's like a really grand way of looking at an indoor track. But when you're standing at head flag, which is controlling the release of the track, the lights in the track, what the flaggers hear, what flag gets thrown, the safety of all 10 people on track, da 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 da. You get like a really good feel for what a high quality experience is, and you get a really good feel for like what kinds of things can happen and what to tell
Yeah.
people to make the experience good. And then when you like extrapolate that out to like someone who actually has their own car and they've done a track before and they've or been on a track before, excuse me, and they've been to an event before, if you give them the baseline expectations, they can be pretty high and like it's still not that hard. The
Yeah.
baseline expectations being like maybe going more than 1 point by zone per uh going past 1 point by zone. What am I trying to say?
You're trying
Going
to
past more
say
than 1 point by
yes.
zone with cars behind you is not acceptable.
Yep.
Point blank period. And then when you tell people that or you hold them to that standard, they're going to respond really quickly.
Yeah, thinking about it, like my bad experience with this group was just the one person I drove around behind for a lap and a half, and they never gave a point by. But if if like let's say that person was black flagged, I saw that the organization was like that guy needs to be off the
Yes,
racetrack, then I think I'd have a different view of the entire
100%.
organization because I'd be like that guy was ruining my session and he was held accountable.
Or even there were times when I was running to this day when I run my own events where like maybe I can't quite tell, but then like at the end of the session, I'll stop the person who I wonder if they're getting frustrated and I'll say like, "Hey, was that person holding you up?" or "Hey, were you hoping for a point by from that person?" And they either say, "Yeah, I kind of wish they weren't really paying attention." Then I know what to do. And 9 times out of 10, they say, "No, that was great." And then you're just like you gave them the little
Yeah,
you gave them the little
like care.
opportunity to see that you're paying attention and
Yep.
you're caring about their experience, but they weren't having a bad time at all. You know, it's just not that hard. When I go to an organization that is putting on a track day and I can tell that no one from the organization is watching the track, only the flaggers are watching the track, I think that's a bad time. That's instant like black flag to the organization.
Now, what if like the communication to the flaggers has been because I've never ran one, so I don't even know what it's like to be honest. But what if the communication to the flaggers is like, well, I guess they can't really see. I guess the flagger really can't see the same car holding up a train for very long. Or what if the communication to the flaggers is like, hey, if a train's forming behind a car, give them a black flag. Like, is that fine? I don't know how much you can tell the flaggers to do and not do.
Yeah, I mean, when I do a flag meeting, I usually say like, "These are the flags I want. I want a black flag for a car that does either 2 off or 4 off or hard 2 off or loss of control." Like, what you can kinda define it for them.
Yeah.
But in my experience, like, I either want me or somebody who's qualified to be watching the track so that if there's somebody who's not giving a point by 3 point by zones in a row,
Yeah.
like, I immediately call for a black flag for that person,
Yeah, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so like you
whether it's
want
a
to be
novice or a beginning
because
person.
you're gonna
Like,
notice it like the best. Be like, okay, that person's over bandwidth. Like,
yeah, because the flaggers are not. That's like asking an hourly employee to, like, pay attention to the, like, scheduling for the whole
yeah, it's just unfair
company or
to.
something.
It's just like an unfair task to give them when they're already doing all these other things. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, we're real inside baseball here. I
Yeah.
hope that helps, Devin.
Yeah. Hope, hopefully that helped. Um. Also, can't wait to go to your track day and at VIR. We're both going to that, right, Tom? I forget which weekend it is, but I put it on my
Yeah.
calendar.
November something.
November something. Guys, come join us at VIR November something.
I'm looking, and it's not on my calendar.
Oh, hold
Oops.
on. Is this where you find out it's also not on my calendar? Hold on. Because I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, this is October. Uh November 29th. Oh, it's right after Thanksgiving.
That's right,
Yep.
Thanksgiving weekend.
It's cool. I'm glad it actually was on my calendar. I got some empty weekends on the 15th and the 22nd. So if anybody has anything for November, I'm trying to have a not an off season again because that worked out beautifully last year. Not
What do
getting
you
rusty was
consider an
so
o
great.
Yeah, what do you consider the appropriate amount of time to not get rusty? Is it, like, once every 2 weeks?
Yeah, preferably. Yeah, if I do like 3 weeks in a row, I could probably miss like 2 weeks and still be good. But I don't want to go like I think it was pushing it last year. I went like January was like nothing, or maybe it was December. It was nothing. Um, no, it was January. I didn't do any driving in January, and then February was like back to like almost every week. Uh, But if I could just do like every like 2 weeks, or I mean every week, obviously would be ideal. But every 2 weeks would probably be good enough to not like build up any like off season tentativeness. So just want to stay dialed. Also, it just made the spring was so much fun because everyone else was like still like shaking the rust off, and I just felt like a superhero everywhere I went. And then like throughout the year, people
Yeah, I
get
get
like
that.
better, and then like you're like, okay, now we're all on like the same page again. But like in the beginning of the year, you're like, ah, ha, ha, ha. So
Yeah.
it's fun. Uh, all right, I think that's probably it for the show. Tom, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I'm going to nope, Summit Point for coaching
Good thing we
with
covered
Jennifer.
this, or you would have went to the wrong racetrack.
Yep. I would have been at VIR looking around. Hello? Hello,
Hello.
are you my mother? Remember that book?
No, not at all.
No?
No, the only book I had as a kid was Go Dog Go. That was like basically it. You remember Go Dog
Not
Go? Do you like my hat? No, I do not like your hat. And they're like driving race cars everywhere.
I don't remember that one.
Oh,
No. Wow,
well,
we need to compare child's
yeah,
books
it's
apparently.
you know what? Maybe we'll have an episode where we compare like childhood books, and we'll read them to the
Yeah.
podcast. I'm
Yeah.
sure a bunch of people will download that one. They can't wait.
Yep. What are you doing this weekend?
I'm going autocrossing on Saturday. Probably gonna expose a bunch of cords on tires. From what it sounds like, as far as like people running as many autocross runs as they can muster, and I can muster a lot of autocross runs, Tom. So uh, maybe I should bring the Miata. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Um, and then on Sunday, I think me and Christine are going hiking and stuff because we're running out of. Dude, I love fall weather. It's like perfect. It's like you put a sweater on and you just hang out outside, and it's like perfectly fine. So
Yeah.
and I feel like I've been inside too much for how like nice it's been. So hopefully me and Christine go do something outside on Sunday.
Hell yeah. I am very excited for fall weather.
Yeah, it's here. It's already happening. So
It's happening right
it's
now.
right now. It's probably crisp
Well,
and
cool.
cool outside.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
hope you enjoy your autocrossing.
I will.
I hope everyone who enjoys their autocrossing. I hope you guys autocross the hell out of that. Honestly, I hope it's like you might as well do like permanent damage.
What? What, like to
I
the
don't know, like
guardrails?
carve your initials into the pavement or something. He's
No,
going to pit race, by the way.
we're not carving our initials because it might just be closed temporarily. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, long shot. Maybe not. Probably not. Um,
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, but we'll just we'll enjoy pit race one last time, and then there's a couple individuals, Peter Schnorr being one of them, that's trying to find another site for the autocross region, and there's some promising spots. And if they can land a site, then I think this region that has really been built at pit race, just the stability that pit race has given the region, um, like the stability of the site is part of the reason why Steel Cities has so many awesome drivers there and so many national championship winning, and they're all like new national champ winning drivers. Just from the last 10 years of that just being like a stable autocross site, it gave the region time to build, and then the experience. That means they put on better events. The better people are, the quicker people get better because they're chasing those goalposts, and then it's just the everything like with site stability, just like it's brought up. And so this region has become a little bit of a powerhouse in the area as far as talent because of the stability of the site. So if the couple individuals that are looking for a site manage to get one, they will save the competitive viability of the Steel City region. So wish them all the luck.
You mean skill,
What did I say?
talent.
Yes,
Also, I think it's the I think
obviously
it's
that's
the
what I meant.
least I'm gonna put this out here too. I think it's the least Jim and Kathy Stout can do than to put all of their effort over the next couple months into finding another one or two autocross sites with all of their network within Pittsburgh.
Mm,
That's
yeah,
the literal least they could do,
they
and
could.
like like they're gonna like no one like they
That would
no,
save some
listen to
face,
this
I will
whatever.
say. That will save some face.
put your literal money
So
where your mouth is.
So I know the Stouts listen to this because they're avid motorsports fans, and if you're an avid motorsports
Yeah.
fan, let's be honest, you're listening to the Lizard Brains podcast. That's
Right.
the least you guys could do. So thanks, we appreciate it in advance. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
So all right, I'll play the outro music and then we go.
Yeah. And I guess I should probably, since I just threw them under the bus, I will end by saying, Jim and Kathy Stout, I love your hair and I hope you win.